Dear ones, before you watch this video, I thought it would be pertinent to give you a little backdrop about it. I had posted a message on social media and it said, "Be vigilant as you transit from wakefulness to sleep and from sleep to wakefulness. You will discover awareness." A friend sent me a message saying that she did not understand the true import of this and that she needed some explanation. So I told her that I will give the explanation during the free sound healing session that I gave on Sunday afternoons. It so happened that at the beginning of the session itself, I took this thought and began to explain it. And during the explanation, I tried to bring out the fact that when we transit from one state of consciousness to the other, which applies to the transition from wakefulness to sleep and from sleep to wakefulness again in the morning, there is always a gap. And in this gap, there is the thread of pure awareness. So if we are vigilant as we transit from one state to the other, we can exploit and explore this gap and find our own true nature, which is just pure awareness. So as I was explaining all this, it became a session of contemplation and meditation, which consumed almost 1 hour. So the sound healing that we intended to do wasn't done at all. I think that this session does contain some pointers which each one of us can use while going to sleep and while waking up in the morning. And we can find a doorway which can lead us to our own true nature. So therefore I am sharing this video recording with you. Please watch it when you have some time and you can be in a state where nobody is disturbing you. And if you have any feedback, please feel free to give the same in the comment section of YouTube. I appreciate and honor your comments. So now, watch this video. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you. I keep sending some thoughts or messages to people, and this morning what I shared was that we should be vigilant when we are going into sleep or when we are waking up from sleep. If we are aware of these transitions, we will become aware of awareness, or awareness will become aware of itself. So Purvi here sent me a message that she wants an explanation for it, why should we do it and what is the mystery behind it. So, into simple terms, everything is known through awareness. Because awareness is the power that allows us to explore and know. But we are so much involved with the object or the experience that we lose track of awareness. We are not aware of the awareness. We think that the eyes can see. So you can open your eyes and see everything around yourself. It is true, the eyes can see. But in this moment, when you look around, are your eyes seeing everything? If you look at the computer screen or the screen of your mobile which you are using, then you do not see the stand on which it is held. If you are watching this program in the gallery mode, so you look at my picture in the gallery, you cannot see the pictures of others, you cannot see the names of others. So the eyes can see, but they can see only that thing to which we give our attention. And it is that attention which determines the flow of awareness. So to anything to which our awareness flows, we know. But we know the thing, we do not know the awareness. That is why in the scriptures it is said that there is an eye of the eye, there is an ear of the ear. What is that? And that is what is knowable. And it is also the knower of things. So how do we get to know that which is the eye of the eye, or the ear of the ear, or the nose of the nose? We have to refine our understanding and approach to things. And how do we refine that? We can do that with a pause. So if we really want to know how our mind works, we should learn to take a pause. Somebody says something to us and we respond. But if we take a pause, we can see whether we are responding out of some deep-rooted habit or character or sensitivity, or we are responding out of need. What is appropriate in this moment? It is not always possible to take a pause. When we are seeing things, it is not possible to take a pause. Everything happens in a micro millisecond. You see something, the image is conveyed, it is interpreted by the brain and the mind, and your response comes. So when you see a friend, your face lights up immediately because you are acting out of that past response, past memory. And you see something whom you would not like, you have not had a happy relationship, immediately you start frowning. You start reacting, you move away, you stop looking at that person. Because the reaction is happening in the autopilot mode. So, how do we find out that the seeing becomes full of awareness? The hearing becomes full of awareness. So, for that, we have to do something which can put us in touch with that awareness. Nature has given us those opportunities. It is very difficult to how to eliminate everything and get established in awareness. But nature makes these opportunities available to us. There are times when nature is providing a pause, and that pause can be used. So, where is that pause in nature? Nature provides a pause when the day is ending, evening is about to disappear, night is about to come. So the day has not yet got over, the night has not yet come. That junction provides a pause. The day has not yet started, sun has not yet risen. The morning is just breaking and night has not yet gone away completely. At that time, if you look at nature, nature is in a state of pause. So if we can somehow discover the state of pause within ourselves, it becomes very easy to understand what is awareness. So people who are into advanced levels of meditation, they go and find out a pause between two thoughts. A thought means activity. A thought means movement of prana. But when one thought has risen and subsided, and another thought has not yet risen, there is a pause. And in that pause, there is no movement of prana, there is absolute stillness. So a yogi finds that pause and chooses to stay there. But everybody is not a yogi. There are people who are beginning this journey in spirituality. So for them, what is the easiest thing to do? And with this background, you can understand what I shared this morning. That when you go to sleep, take your time, lie down on bed, focus on your breath, and be very vigilant. So by and by, you can see how the senses are falling away. The eyes will close because they do not want to see anything anymore. The ears will remain open, and yet they will stop hearing the sounds. The nose is there, but the smells outside will not be perceived. The tongue is there, but there will be no sense of taste. The skin is alive, but the sense of touch will disappear. So when you are watching, you will notice that one by one, or maybe all together, the senses are going away. And if the senses are going away, then for some time you will become aware of your mind. There is no input from outside, but you may start thinking about what happened during the day. Some memory might come up, some fear might arise, fear of uncertainty, anxieties may arise. Your likes and dislikes will come and play out in the mental screen in the form of images, conversations, dialogues. But you are vigilant. If you are vigilant and you refuse to get involved, then by and by even the mind will start getting quiet. And all these dialogues, these dramas, they will start disappearing. The curtain will drop on the drama going on the mental stage. And when this curtain drops, and before you enter sleep, there will be this moment or these moments when you will be perfectly aware and yet there will be nothing by way of an experience. The finite experience that defines this world. So you would have tasted awareness, and if you are very watching carefully day after day while going to sleep, then this gap where you are in perfect awareness, bereft of all thoughts, all modifications of the mind, that will start prolonging. And the same thing, so it is transition from the waking state to the sleep. So in between the waking state and the sleep state, there is a brief moment when you are pure awareness and you can discover it. The same thing applies when you are waking up in the morning. People are always rushing. So the moment the eyes get opened, some thoughts come, some unfinished agenda starts playing out, and we rush out of the bed. But this period holds a wonderful opportunity. So when you wake up, you can train yourself not to wake up in an instant, not to start doing the work. Just to remain there with closed eyes in the bed. One moment ago, you were asleep. You were blissfully unaware of anything and everything around yourself. You did not even know whether you exist or not. In sleep, we did not know. We do not know whether we exist. So it is this awareness which has kept the breath running, the heart beating, the blood flowing in our veins and arteries, all the body reactions systems functioning. And from that state, now gradually the senses and mind are coming alive. We are getting back into the waking state. So notice what comes first in your experience when you wake up. Is it your sense of touch, which gives you the feeling of confinement in the body? Is it your breath, which gives you the sense of being alive? What are the experiences that begin to flow within you, giving you an experience of the outside world? Then you can watch how the mind becomes active and it brings into your field of view what you need to do, how many things are pending, what to expect during the day. Is it going to be stressful? Is it going to be enjoyable? Whatever. But if we give ourselves this time to really watch how our awareness, which was completely held within ourselves and we did not know it, is slowly and gradually bringing ourselves to a state where the waking state becomes manifest completely. We are fully into this world, alive and responsible. So the simple trick is give yourself time. When you are going to sleep or when you are waking up. And if you give yourself time, you will be able to understand. हाँ भाई साहब नमस्कार, मैं आपको थोड़ी देर में फ़ोन करता हूँ भाई साहब, कुछ एक सेशन में हूँ. हाँ जी, मैं करता हूँ. So, for a person who may not be trained to meditate, who may be thinking that he is just a beginner, it is a very easy way. Each one of us, we go to sleep and we wake up. If somehow we cultivate the virtue of awareness while going into sleep and while coming out of sleep, we will be able to use this transition in a beautiful way and know those points of pure awareness which exist when we transit from the waking state to the sleep and also from the sleep to the waking state. It's very amazing that when we are asleep, we do not know anything. We are not aware of our own awareness. The awareness is asleep. But when we wake up, this awareness begins to expand. And if we are vigilant, if we cultivate the habit of watching, then over a period of a few weeks or a few months, we will be able to really see what is it that is expanding, how it is expanding. Whatever your awareness touches, you know. Sometimes we are walking and we do not see what is right there before us. Why? Because our awareness has not gone there. So this is the truth, that even if we see something, we are not seeing it with pure awareness. We are seeing it with the filter of our mind, our choices, our likes and dislikes. So even though we may be seeing, but we are not seeing the thing as it is. It is only when the filter is dropped, we can see truth as it is. And that is why we need to cultivate those opportunities which give us a time to go into the gap, which give us the intelligence to manipulate or use the transition and use the transition to our advantage. So just be with yourself in a relaxed state with closed eyes. The eyes are not seeing, but let your ears listen, let your nose be active, feel the taste in your mouth. Become aware of the contact between your skin and the chair or wherever. If you are sitting under a fan or close to an AC, become aware of the flow of air that is touching the skin. And now just give yourself one single thought for some time. And that thought should be the thought of your breath. Normally, any thoughts we have, those thoughts come with a package. One thought can give rise to another thought. And this another thought gives rise to some other thought. So there is a chain of thought. And the mind remains active, but breath is that thought that does not give rise to another thought. That is why it is the best instrument to become fully aware of the present moment. So be with your breath. And when you become close to your breath, watching it with great love, gradually your senses begin to drop. So be fully aware how your eye does not want to see anything anymore. Your ears do not want to listen to anything anymore. The nose is not after any smell. The tongue doesn't want to taste anything anymore. Become aware of the sense of touch. See how it is turning inwards. And because it has turned inwards, the sense of the body is disappearing. Keep breathing at your own pace, but be aware. Your sense of body disappears. You are a powerhouse of energy which is breathing in by itself and breathing out. And this is happening on its own. If any thoughts arise in the mind, do not focus on the thoughts. Let them be. Just bring your awareness back to the breath. Thought is either past or future. Breath is the bridge between the two, and breath is the present. So by embracing your breath, you are embracing the present. Be here in the present. And remember, if any distractions arise, there is no need to fight with the mind. The mind is doing what it has been trained to do all along. You simply be with your breath. Let the breath happen spontaneously and be with it. Follow the journey of the breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Become a witness to the breath. So you are aware of the breath because you have given your awareness to the breath in this moment. And now ask yourself, who is witnessing the breath? So turn the direction of the awareness around at yourself. All of a sudden you notice that you are not this or that. You are vibrating silence. That is aware of itself. Rest is in that silence for some time. If the breath awareness returns and you notice that you have given your attention to the breath, once again ask yourself, who is watching this breath? And you will return to that experience of vibrating silence, which is your own true nature. And this silence is not passive. This notices everything. When you notice yourself breathing, it does not get affected. It notices how your body is holding itself, but it has no judgment. It notices if there are people around you who are talking, but it does not get irritated. It notices all the sounds that are coming to you. And yet it just takes notes. It does not react. Just sit in this state for a while. It is your awareness and you can take it as far as you wish. And you can also bring it closer without any effort. Start becoming aware of your body in a more tangible way. Allow yourself to breathe a little more deeply so that the body awareness is strengthened. And when you become ready or you feel that you are ready, gently come out of meditation. If you want, you can rub your palms against one another. Caress your face and gently open your eyes. So, question time. You have any questions? Apurvi, where are you?
Yes, sir.
आपको उत्तर मिला?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Very clear.
How did you feel?
Very nice.
Very nice. Okay. So it is easy. It is just cultivating the awareness of how we go into sleep and how we wake up. So when we are going into sleep, the area of the awareness is contracting. And when we wake up, it is flowing out and it is reaching different objects and it is bringing that knowledge of those objects to us. So normally we think that the eyes are seeing, but it is not true. The eyes see only that to which we give our awareness or to which our awareness flows. Normally we think that the mind knows everything. That is not correct. The mind is working only with the power of awareness. So if a person is dull, he does not have that power of awareness, the mind will not function. But what happens is that the mind becomes so powerful, because we think that the mind is thinking, the mind is the repository of knowledge. We give the reins of our life to the mind. So the mind becomes powerful, it starts ruling us. If we just somehow can be more aware of the awareness which is behind the mind, which is working through the mind, then the mind will lose its power over us. And that is what spirituality and meditation are about. How we can become the masters of the mind. We are the masters of the mind. But we have given our sovereignty, our power to the mind because we do not know how the awareness works. So if we know how the awareness works, we will be regaining our power and authority. There's a favorite story of Alexander. It is a favorite story of mine. So it is said that when Alexander was setting out on his campaign to conquer India, he went to his own guru, Diogenes, and he said, well, I'm going to India. It's a country of riches. So you tell me what is it that you want. And Diogenes told him that, look, you are interested in riches. Those are having absolutely no significance for me. But if you can find some, I have been told that India is a land of saints. So find a saint, bring him along. I can have some satsang. So this fellow came to India, he went on this looting spree, this, that, did that. When it was time to wind up his campaign and go back, he suddenly remembered that his guru had asked him for a saint. So he let it be known that find out a saint who is really great and the best should be found, and I am going to take him to my guru. Now the interesting part was that nobody was prepared to go. They found out there were people who were known for their spiritual merit and wisdom, but nobody was willing to go. So eventually the commander-in-chief of Alexander, he set his eyes upon one person who he was told was a very learned and spiritually awakened person. So this person went to the saint and said, my master wants you. You please come. And whatever you ask for, we will give. So he said, no, no. What will you give to me? And who is your master? That fellow, he is the servant of my servant. So this was a very intriguing statement. And this fellow came back and told Alexander that this man is there. He doesn't seem to be very wise. He is a very ordinary fellow. But when we told him that you want him to come along to Greece, he said, so that your master, he is the servant of my, is the servant of my servant. So Alexander was quite intrigued by this statement and he was very angry also. So he went to see this saint and he asked him point blank, did you say this, make this a statement about me? He said, yes. And he said, how can you do this? You are so disrespectful, you don't know me. And I can reward you if you come with me, and I can also punish you greatly. Then he said, what will you do? So he said, look, I will just burn everything down and I will slay you. Your head will be chopped off from your body. So I said, okay, you go inside my abode and see what is there. So Alexander went inside and he didn't see anything, some small, a few clothes here and there, some pots. That was all. Then he said, there's hardly anything inside. The saint said, no, there is something. You have not looked properly. You go and look. So he went inside and looked. Nothing was there. So he came out. He said, think about it. Find out what is there. So after much deliberation, Alexander said, there is a space. They said, yes, you can burn down my hut. Can you burn down that space which is within the hut? Alexander had no answer. Then he said that, look, I told you that you are the servant of my servant. So I will tell you this. You are the servant of your senses. Your lust for riches have brought you for so many thousands of miles into our country, and you have plundered it, looted it, you killed so many people. So you are the servant of the senses. My senses are the servant of my mind. So unless my mind tells them, orders them to look out, they don't look out. And my mind is my servant. It is fully under my control, it is quiet all the time. Unless I ask my mind to look at something or to think about a thought, it does not think. It is always in a state of perfect equilibrium. So now tell me, are you not the servant of my servant? And then he said that, what will you do? You may kill this body, but you cannot touch what exists inside this body. That is eternal. So when you say that you can punish me by burning down this hut, you can burn down this hut, but you cannot burn down the space that is there. In the same way, you can burn down or mutilate this body, but you cannot touch that element which is inside this body. And Alexander, you better be careful. I don't know. I don't see you reaching home safely. Alexander did not do anything. He went back, and on the way in Afghanistan, he fell ill and he died. But this story is not about Alexander. It is about that saint, the state he was in. And each one of us have that eternal element within us, the awareness. Now the question is, are we going to discover that element and become established in eternal life? Or we remain with the mind and the senses and keep roaming around in this world and keep journeying life after life. So each one of us, anybody who is here, we are all on that journey. And it's a process, it happens. So everyone is going to reach sometime or the other because the journey has been started. The masters are there who take care of people and they are going to take care of everyone. But we must play our part. So we must find opportunities where we can use the transition, whether it is the transition from the waking state to sleep and sleep to waking state, or the transition between the breaths when the incoming breath has gone in and the outgoing breath has not started, or the outgoing breath has gone out and the incoming breath has not started. There is a pause between the thoughts. If we really start conquering the mind, then there will come a time when we will be able to see the thoughts. So between the thoughts, there is a gap. So the gap has to be exploited. So Apurvi had asked this question that she said, sent me a message saying that, can you explain what you have said in the morning? So I told her that you ask me this question during this session and I will answer. So it has taken almost 1 hour. So there is little time for sound healing today. But how did you feel through all this? Would somebody give a feedback? Anyone?
it was so much of a meditation,
It
and
was
the the actual practice of awareness, becoming aware, was very powerful, was very profound.
this just came to me when we were starting the session. Because I thought I would give us a kind of an intellectual explanation that this is how it can work. But then this thought came that why not make it a little more practical and give a dharana? I mean, use it as a dharana for this exploration of the gap.
Something to take home, so much
It
to
was.
practice. So, very valuable. Thank
So we'll close with the Shanti part. Om सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनो सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ